But this is a longer gap than normal. Riders are ready. They've got their kit on ready to go at the top of pit lane. Not quite sure what we're waiting for here, because I'm sure I saw the water cart leaving the track, and I thought we were going to be pushed off about a minute or so ago from the information.
That lady was still dancing, so it's obviously quite a tune.
He's focused on Fredrik Lindgren here of Sweden, and how he needs to bounce back if he's to maintain his challenge for top 3 in the world standings. Emil Sayfutdinov is 5 points behind him going into tonight's meeting. Emil got a victory in his opening ride, and Freddie Lindgren ran a last. So it's an important race for Lindgren now to bounce back. His priority is to try and get to 9 points. Yeah. And hopefully that'll be enough to get you into the semi-finals.
Normally it is 9, isn't it? We have had qualifiers on 7 this year.
Couldn't it fine on 7, Kelv?
Yeah, but the last Grand Prix they were on 7.
2 of them.
Yeah. So I think there were 4 on 7, and 2 of them went through.
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
But points make prizes, as we know. So Freddie Lindgren looking to bounce back after a disappointing opening ride, but Jason Doyle on the inside will be a major threat here.
Here we go with Heat 5 then. Jason Doyle, very impressive in his opening ride. A winner first time out. Christoph Kasperzak on a warning now, off gate number 2. Freddie Lindgren needs to bounce back off gate 3, as does Robert Lambert off the outside gates in yellow. Both riders off the outside 2 gates ran a last in their opening race. Not easy when you're at the back to push through. And I just wonder what's going through the mind of Fredrik Lindgren, who is aiming for a place in the top 3, where he starts tonight in 3rd position in the standings.
Yeah, it'd be important for him to just figure out getting off the start. He didn't go anywhere at all off the inside gate in his first ride, just spun up badly. And he would have asked his team just to calm that bike down so he can get some more grip. But I've got to say, Jason Doyle looked pretty handy in his first ride. Inside gate for him.
Yeah, Doyle made a smart move in his opening ride, and it's a good one here in his second as well from gate 1. Now Lindgren's going to try the run up the inside. Has Doyle got the speed down the back straight? Lindgren gets off the gas and goes mid-track now. Doyle is in red, leading the race. Lindgren is second in white. Great Britain's Robert Lambert is 3rd in yellow. Robert made a handy start there, but couldn't keep up the pace early on in that first lap. Here comes Lindgren now, having a real go on Jason Doyle down those real long straights of Togliatti, and now Doyle's going to try the outside run as Lindgren tries the inside, but Doyle is set fair, riding a really good line, Kel.
Yeah, he just pushed a little bit too hard on the opening lap and got in a bit of trouble, and Freddie Lindgren was able to just creep a little bit closer to him, but now he's just adjusted where he's riding. You can see how cautious they are on the exit of turn 4, because the track is breaking up there and they don't want to get sucked into the air fence. But once again, Doyle sharp away from the tapes, hit the front, and is going to stay there. He's going to go unbeaten after 2 rides. Good stuff from the Australian. Jason Doyle, 6 points out of 6. That's more like the Jason Doyle we know. He will be absolutely delighted to get 6 points in the bag after 2 outings here. Of course, a reminder, to guarantee your place in next season's series, you have to finish in the top 6 of this year's series. We're in round 8 of 11 in the World Championship for 2021. We got the Speedway of Nations still to come, remember? Doyle, Lindgren, Lambert and Kasperzak the result, and Doyle moves on to 6. The Speedway of Nations, the semi-finals, are in Daugavpils, Latvia, in a couple of weeks' time, 3 weeks' time. Then, of course, in October in Manchester, in Great Britain, at the National Speedway Stadium in Bellevue. That is going to be something special on the Saturday and Sunday, the 16th and 17th of October. Make sure you go to that. If you're in the UK watching tonight, that's going to be 2 meetings not to miss. And Jason Doyle came into tonight 12 points behind Ty Woofenden, who is in 6th place. So he'll be looking for a really big return tonight to try and make some inroads on that. He'll want to qualify by right. He won't really want to be relying on the authorities and the organisation to actually pick him. He probably will get picked, but he's a proud guy. So well to get to the final. But he started in fine style here, unbeaten after 2 rides. He'll be very satisfied with that.
Yeah, Jason Doyle has had a wonderful career. It's his 70th Grand Prix tonight. The most experienced man of the Grand Prix so far is Freddie Lindgren tonight on 141 appearances.
Really?
Matti Zagar, 123rd Grand Prix tonight. Now, Loktayev goes off the inside gate in that red helmet colour. Artem Laguta, gate 2, winner first time out. Anders Thompson, gate 3, and Matsej Janovsky going off the outside run. Laguta, by the way, has had 49 SGP races this year and has won 30 of them. This will be his 50th GP race of 2021 for Artem Laguta. He won't be worried about that or bothered about that. He just wants 3 points in the bag.
I'm not bothered about that either. I'm just thinking that he's going to win the race. No, it wasn't.
Hang on a minute. Are you down in my prep?
I am, yeah. But he'll be just concerned about making the start. He made a really good start in the first one. I'm sure he's got every chance of doing it here again. Here we go.
A bit nervy.
Oh, he's done it though.
Yeah, Laguta's got there. He's made it look easy there, Artem Laguta, and he's gone wide. Janovsky was in trouble there, and down the back straight they go. The man in the white helmet colour. Anders Thompson coming through, and it looks as though Janovsky's in trouble. Yeah, Janovsky is in trouble in heat number 8. We'll have to come back and do it all again. Yeah,
it's a shame. The camera work was actually focusing on Laguta and we just missed him, but he ran in deep and you can see how heavy it is already. The material here isn't got anything to really bind it together, I don't think, and it's built up. Max Frick actually said to Marcella that in the interview that the grip was there was heavy material on the outside.
Yeah,
and we've got Anders Thompson squeezing up the inside. He charges in deep there, but there's so much grip he doesn't turn, and then the bike grabs hold and just slips off the bike. He'll be excluded for that, and unfortunately for Janovsky, his Grand Prix campaign is kind of going from bad to worse, and from a rider that looked like a potential world champion after 4 rounds, you've got to say that it's immensely disappointing for Magic at the moment. Really is.
1 point from 2 rides for Matsej Janovsky. Thankfully he's okay, so we will see him, but he's only got 3 more rides to try and salvage his night.
He can do it.
He can do it,
but you've got to make starts, Nigel. This place is a gator's paradise. If you're Laguta, this is right up your alley, because he is so consistent away from the tape. As he walks up the alley. And that was brilliant, Nigel. I tell you what, mate, you're in the wrong game, aren't you? And there's no doubt that if you can make starts consistently here in Togliatti tonight, you could win the meeting.
Yes.
Because you don't have to be quick. You don't have to be quick in front because it's very difficult to overtake. You see him there just now. The bike grabs him now, and then literally he's just a passenger and has to let go and bail off the bike. And that's as a consequence of it being tricky going in. Anders Thompson was there. He had to run in deeper than he wanted to. Lots of loose, heavy material on the outside. And he's down, but you've got to feel for Janovsky. Such a quality, talented rider.
For tonight, but it's just not been his night so far. So we'll try again with heat number 6 here with Alexander Loktayev and Laguta and Thompson. And no doubt Laguta did make the perfect start there.
Well, he's red hot favourite now. Janovsky's out. You know, his teammate from Wrocław is no longer in the race. You've got to believe that this man is now the favourite. He has upped his game this year. Laguta, always the bridesmaid, really, to Emil Sayfutdinov, but this season has really established himself as a championship contender. Without him, I've got to say that Smarslik would be away. He would have one hand on the trophy. But credit to Laguta, he's won a
card in the initial staging of this heat number 6 to charge up the inside, and here he comes now towards the start line for the 6th race of the 2021 Togliatti FIM Speedway Grand Prix, where there's a good atmosphere, certainly, and the fans are enjoying themselves. Loktayev off the inside, then Artem Laguta going off gate 2, Anders Thompson of Denmark going off gate number 3. 3 riders only then for this one, with the unfortunate Matsej Janovsky excluded after getting caught up in the dirt around the outside.
Wrong place, wrong time, wasn't it? Yeah, just got in the wrong place, but that was indicative of the track, really, where he got sucked in there. But he's got 3 more chances. But Laguta now, second time of asking. I'm expecting him to make the start again.
Let's see. Oh, again, the tape stayed down a long time there.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Laguta's very lucky here, because I don't think he touched the tapes, because Loktayev moved, and then Artem moved, didn't he?
Do you know, I'm just wondering,
he must have got very, very close to touching the tapes, because he really did charge forward.
I'm just wondering, is there extra hit? Let's see it.
It's really close, this.
No, he's not touched them.
Lucky.
But I'm just wondering, is there extra pressure on the start, knowing that you have to make the start.
Of course. And that was a long pause, wasn't it? And
very long, yeah.
And the rider on the inside, Loktaev, there, just a little impatient. And I think Leguta's going to get a warning. They'll both get warnings. It's I tell you what, this meeting isn't really running, is it? It's we had a long grading break, very long grading break, and now these restarts. It's taking some time to get these races done. 1 minute. Phil Morris out there telling the riders they've got 1 minute to get back round to the start.
Yep, when it's a starting offence, you have 1 minute to get back.
I think that's good, actually.
Yeah, get on with it.
I'm pleased about that. But what do you think about Artem Leguta? I've waxed lyrical about him, what he's doing. What are your thoughts?
No, I think he's a brilliant starter. I think he's a brilliant rider. And, you know, I just think he's got the lot. He's certainly good enough to be world champion now. And why not? He's been... Tonight could be really significant. If Bartosz Zmarzlik fails to make the semi-finals, which I know is unthinkable, but bear in mind he only had 5 from 4 in a GP this year.
Well, last time
out. If that happens tonight, he's under pressure on a track that's hard to pass on, and then Leguta can go on and win the meeting. It could really change the entire outlook of the World Championship. Let's see. There's a long way to have Leguta, Thompson, heat number 6, and this is the 3rd time of asking now. Loktaev has been told to behave himself at the start line, and the tapes went up a lot quicker that time, and Anders Thompson all over the place there, swerving away from the start, but now he's trying the inside run. Leguta's got the speed though, coming off of the turn number 2 in the dirt, and now Leguta holds the mid-track run, and that's a perfect way to do it as he goes wide here with Thompson second. Third in red is Loktaev. But Artem Leguta knows where he's going. He knows every part of the track where to put the bike to get maximum speed, and he is absolutely carving up heat number 6.
Yeah, he's looking super good, isn't he? Lots of confidence on the bike, and you can see the way he's really having a go on the bike as well. That's indicative of a rider that's brimming with confidence. He's into the 3rd lap and he's looking good. Great start. Anders Thompson having a solid night. This will be his another 2nd place for him, so yeah, picking up handy points. But it's a high-speed demonstration for Leguta here. He's pulling away in front and dominating the heat 6.
Yep, he's going to join Jason Doyle on 6 points out of a possible 6, and Anders Thompson, he's going to get his 2nd successive 2nd place of the night to move on to 4 points from 2 rides. So it's taking shape nicely, and the home fans delighted with that result for Artem Leguta. 6 points so far for Leguta, Speedway of Nations winner on this track alongside Sayfutdinov. Can they do it again in Manchester in October?
They could do. They've won the last 3. I mean, they are on a massive roll in the Speedway of Nations. They have been the pairing, haven't they? Sayfutdinov and Leguta. And Leguta, well, he's staying pace with Jason Doyle. Another convincing win from the Russian there.
Leguta the winner from Thompson 2nd, Loktaev 3rd. Matseyanovsky fell, of course, and was excluded, and this is how it looks now. Jason Doyle and Artem Leguta.
Those sort of starts all year. It's not just here. So, as I say, that is such an important factor to be able to rely on here, and so far in his opening 2 rides it's proved to be absolutely spot on. And Jason Doyle looks like a rider that's got the bike set up to go to the 1st corner. I reiterate, you got to get the bike digging in and gripping going to the 1st turn, even if that means you're slightly slower in a straight line.
Heat number 7, and the World Championship leader before tonight, this man, Zmarzlik, he's off the inside gate, and he's got Sayfutdinov off gate number 3 in white. This is a good lineup then. Bartosz Zmarzlik off the inside. Can he make the start? Can he get there and dominate the race like we've seen him do so often this season? Matej Zegar, gate 2. Emil Sayfutdinov, the local lad, going off gate number 3, home rider. Local in terms of, you know, the same country.
He's Russian, yeah.
The same country, yeah.
It's quite a big place.
It is a big place, yeah. Oliver Bernson off the outside in yellow.
Fantastic.
Is your lineup for?
Yeah, he lives 3,000 kilometres away, just round the corner.
Yeah, he's got the backing of the local fans. Is a better way to describe it, perhaps. Anyway, here we go. Heat number 7. Lovely start from Bartosz Zmarzlik off the inside gate. He holds the inside run now. Charging through up the inside brilliantly here goes the man in blue, Matej Zegar, but Zmarzlik again never a doubt, makes it look easy, hits the front, and it's all about Emil Sayfutdinov now. What can he do at the back to try and pass the man in yellow, Oliver Berntsson? But normal service resumed for the world champion.
Yeah, got to the first corner and went very wide, and got to say, Zago and Berntsson very nearly got their noses in front. Well, they did momentarily, but then Zmarzlik responded brilliantly by that swoop down the back straight. Surprise here with Emil Sayfutdinov back in 4th place, and this is indicative of the track. Didn't make a good getaway, struggling to get amongst the points. Oliver Berntsson covering that inside run. I don't think Sayfutdinov is going to get there, you know. I don't think he's going to score points this time, but for the world champion, this is exactly what he needed. He's hit the front and he's going to move on to 4 points.
Yeah, he is. He's winning the race comfortably now, and it has to be said that Sayfutdinov, who won his opening ride, has been left stone last at the back. He can't land a blow, he can't get near the guys in front of him. So tough. But what about Bartosz Zmarzlik, the brilliant Bartosz Zmarzlik, twice world champion, leader of this year's series before tonight. And that is a very, very handy ride from Bartosz Zmarzlik off gate number 1.
It was indeed. It was a super start. Quite clearly they've made a few tweaks to the setup, because it just flew to the first turn. And then the skill of the man, the determination of the world champion, saw him through to a very valuable win. Zmarzlik out in front, where we expect to see him.
Zmarzlik first, Zagar second, Berntsson third, and Sayfutdinov at the back. Sayfutdinov with just the 3 points on the board now. Bartosz Zmarzlik moves on to 4 with Zagar as well, and Anders Thomsen. Well, that was a really smart move from Bartosz Zmarzlik. He really is such a naturally talented speedway rider.
He is. I cannot disagree with that. I don't think many people would. But just see him come under a little bit of pressure there with Zagar coming up from the inside, but the speed down the back straight is there to be seen. Emil Sayfutdinov is the big loser here, makes a decent getaway. He's second going into the corner, but just finds himself in no man's land here. And the riders Berntsson and Zagar swoop to the inside and squeeze him out. And as a consequence, the Russian Rocket, well, his race is over and done with at the very early stage. But for Bartosz Zmarzlik, a nice way to bounce back after a low-key opening gambit in his first ride, but no real surprise to see him. He's got outside gates now, so he's going to have to really work hard to make sure he makes the semi-finals. Yeah, he's out again in heat number 9, so we'll have this race, and then we'll have a grading break, and then we'll see Zmarzlik again off gate 4. Heat number 8 sees Max Frick off the inside gate, a fine win in his opening ride. And that was heat number 1, so he's had a 7-race wait along with restarts as well. Then it's Ty Woffinden going off gate number 2 in blue, Leon Madsen off 3, and then it is Vadim Tarasenko going off the outside, the wild card. That's a good point you raised there about the wait that Frick's had. Track will be completely different. Completely different. It was quite wet and greasy in the first race. Now it would have dried quite significantly, but nonetheless, he'll be looking to make a good start. Woffinden looked pretty good, and I think if Ty can make a good start here, I expect him to be able to win quite nicely, because he looked like he had a bit of speed as well.
Heat number 8, here we go. Oh, movement from the outside. Tarasenko had a little nibble that time. Woffinden off gate 2 has made a beauty. Ty Woffinden holds the inside run and now leads down that back straight. Here he goes. Second place is Max Frick. Leon Madsen putting pressure on in the white helmet colour, and Tarasenko has been left at the back. Just had a little nibble at the outside gate.
Yeah.
But Woffinden looking comfortable. Look at the lead that he's got now. Even just as early as lap 2, he is absolutely flying, Kelv.
Yeah, he looks good out in front. I think we didn't see the best of him because he was sort of stuck in second place in his first ride, but he looks good here. Bike got away nicely and he's flying out in front. Max Frick is hanging on to second place, but Leon Madsen charging up the inside. It's a good battle for second and third here. The closest racing actually we've seen all evening long. Track really now beginning to dry out and puffs of dust coming up, but out in front, the 3-time former world champion Ty Woffinden in dominant mood here.
Yeah, he's half a length of the straight clear. One last go for Leon Madsen in white, but he won't get there. Max Frick has done enough in the red helmet colour for second spot. No way through for Leon Madsen. Try as he might, just too much to do. And that was a good ride from Ty Woffinden, and he nailed it from the start. Held the inside run, didn't go wide, and that worked a treat for him.
It did.
He got lots of speed down that back straight, really wound it on superbly. Ty Woffinden having a little word with the race director, Phil Morris. And there will now be some watering and track grading. And Ty Woffinden, the race winner of heat number 8 from Frick, from Madsen, from Tarasenko. So, leading the way, Doyle and Legutz are on 6, Woffinden and Max Frick are on 5 apiece.
Well, Ty Woffinden making a nice start and showing some good speed out in front, so he'll be pleased with that. We'll see it again here, gate 2. Bike digs in and drives forward, and that's what I was talking about. If you can get the bike to do that, then you're going to have a successful night. Leon Madsen and Max Frick have a race-long battle for second and third, with Frick actually hanging on. He didn't look quite as quick as Madsen, but as hard as Madsen tried, he couldn't quite manage to find a way through. But for Ty Woffinden, looked like he was enjoying himself there, and he got himself away. Track's just breaking up a bit. He actually had a word with Phil Morris, the race director, after this heat, so may have just pointed out something on the track to keep an eye on. But no, it's what we expected, really. It's a tricky track to race on, but so far.
Jason Doyle here with us on 6 points so far. You had 2 outings so far, both in different circumstances. What can you tell us about the track, about the gating?
Yeah, it's all down to the first couple of laps, really. They're on the outside in turns 3 and 4. It's quite deep, a lot of loose material, so you've got to really lean the bike over and just rail it around the corner. But we're trying to make a bit more speed. Two good wins. It's a bit of confidence, but a long way to go.
Yesterday you had a chance to take a practice session here at the track. Is it a lot different to yesterday?
Yeah, a little bit. There's a little bit more loose material today. Yesterday was a little bit harder. I think they're just trying to get a lot of racing going on tonight. We have a lot of passing, but I think it's a little bit too deep on the outside. But they'll make it better, and will be a lot more racing coming, hopefully, in the next couple of heats.
It's a historical moment for г.Тольятти, as it's the first ever Speedway Grand Prix hosted here. And you have some good memories also from this place, as in 2019 you won the bronze medal at the Speedway of Nations.
Yeah, it was a nightmare to get here. A lot of the boys are glad we got here with all the visa issues and all that, but and obviously COVID, but they put a great show on. We're here to race now, and it's a great atmosphere, and the fans really love Speedway here, so we have to put a good show on. And obviously when we were here for Speedway of Nations, we had a good outcome with Team Australia, so hopefully I can do the same tonight.
And last one question about Malila, because you made your first final this season. That puts you on the 8th position overall. How do you see your final result in this season of Speedway Grand Prix?
There's still a long way to go. We've still got 3 more Grand Prix after this, and there's a lot of points to come, and hopefully I can move it up the table tonight and get into a good position. But it's racing, and we just got to take each heat by as it comes.
Thank you so much. Good luck.
Thank you. Cheers.
That he didn't manage to complete the final race, but nonetheless he is a determined character, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if he can battle his way back into the top 6 for the automatic selection. But I sense that even if he didn't make the top 6, Jason Doyle would have a very good chance of a permanent pick for next year's Grand Prix. We're just looking at the replays of heat number 8 again, with Ty Woffinden looking very accomplished there, looking like he actually probably half enjoyed that. But winning races, I tell you what, it doesn't matter where you are, whether you're in Russia or whether you're in Timbuktu, it's always enjoyable to get the 3 points.
Have you raced in Timbuktu?
I'm sure there's a track there somewhere, mate. If there's not, there needs to be.
No, and he really looked quick there as well. And some interesting comments from Doyley there as well about the amount of material around the outside.
Fantastic experience.
Did it?
Yeah, I did ride it on the lake.
How low did you get your left knee?
I did manage to actually get my knee right down and enjoyed it. But then when I went to watch the racing, nah, not with those spikes everywhere. Just didn't fancy that at all. Right, we've got riders out on track, and we're going to get, and the ice racing can come another day, can't it? Yeah, in the winter, preferably. Yeah.
But mind you, soon be winter now. We're into September next week.
It was chilly up your way, wasn't it?
Soon be Christmas, you know. Soon be Christmas. Anyway, right, heat number 9 is coming up here, and Bartosz Marstik, the world champion, going off the outside gate. So a bit of a frustrating wait there, but hopefully the track work will have done the trick, and we can get on with an enjoyable speedway meeting in heat number 9, coming right up. Here we go then after the track work. Heat number 9 it is, with Matt Sayanovsky going off the inside, Vadim Tarasenko going off gate number 2. Then it's Krzysztof Kasperzak, really found it tough back in the GP series. He goes off 3, and Bartosz Smarslik is off the outside for heat number 9. Important for Matt Sayanovsky to have a good result here.
Yeah, absolutely. He's had a poor night so far, but an opportunity to bounce back on the inside gate. Quite clearly there were some concerns about the track surface after heat 8. And Ty Woofenden sort of gestured towards Phil Morris, the race director, and they've spent a bit of extra time here, so let's hope that's done the trick. But for Janowski, whose Grand Prix campaign has been on the downward spiral, can he turn things around now?
Heat number 9 it is. Alexander Liotaszynski. Oh no. Oh dear.
Didn't even wait.
Well, I can't. What is that all about? It looks angry there.
It's just sheer frustration there.
What is that all about? So that should give an opportunity to Rinat Gafurov. Frustration, delay after delay. And here we have another. Krzysztof Kasperzak, straight through the tapes. He's not just touched them, he's broken them. Inexplicable. Inexplicable. So, yeah, Rinat Gafurov is a rider that British fans may remember from his British career. And
did he ride for Swindon and Eastbourne?
I think he might have had a short spell at Oxford as well, you know.
Yeah, he had a few clubs.
Yeah,
and by the way, had his moments.
You mentioned Eastbourne there. Bad news this week that they won't continue this season, but let's just keep our fingers crossed that Eastbourne Eagles will be back for 2022 in the UK. It's a good old traditional.
It is.
It's got a rich history. It's hard not to tell a racer not to race, but there's a world title on the line, Kelv.
Go and tell him it.
Well,
tell him it. Tweet him it immediately that you don't need to push that hard.
I don't think he'd listen to me.
No, I don't think he would. I don't think he'd listen to me either. But Bartosz Smarslik only knows one way, doesn't he?
But I wouldn't want to see his title race
just knows how to win. He's won 2 already doing it, so quite clearly it works. So
I thought that was a real gamble what he did there.
He took a chance, I agree, but he took a chance on a very fair rider.
Good shout.
Matt Sayanovsky, you've got to believe, would always leave a bit of racing room.
That could have ended in tears.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. And you've got to say that Janowski does make a good start, and from there you've got to believe he's got to have a good chance of winning the race. But here comes Smarslik, barges his way through. He got a bit out of shape actually mid-race, and he then changed his racing line where he hugs the inside there, and he won quite nicely. But he's doing the business. Disappointing opening ride, but then, wow, he has bounced back in fine style. Couple more points will see him safely through to the semi-finals. And he and Artem Laguta going, race for...
Points return for the reserve, Rinat Gafurov. Oxford, Swindon, Poole and Bellevue, his British roll call. As we move on to heat number 10.
Why did we think... I don't know why I thought he... There we are.
He made a guest appearance for them. Leon Madsen, I don't know that he did, I'm just guessing. Leon Madsen goes off the inside.
Could be right.
Freddie Lindgren, gate 2 in blue. Gate number 3, we don't just throw this together, do we? Marty Zagar goes off gate 3 in white, and Anders Thompson going off the outside. No. Madsen's shown some good glimpses tonight, but Freddie Lindgren looking for points once again here. The rider standing 3rd in the World Championship after 7 rounds of the series so far. We have round 8 tonight, then we have Voyens in a couple of weeks' time, the 11th of September.
Yeah, looking forward to Voyens. Yeah. Always, often, well, if the weather behaves, it can be a really, really good racetrack there. Here we go.
Yes, heat number 10 it is, and Lindgren's made a beauty off gate number 2. Fast Freddie Lindgren holds the inside run. Watch out for Anders Thompson now. Around the outside. Oh, he found some speed there, all right. And now Leon Madsen is trying the inside run here. Thompson with the lead. Lindgren looks across to his left, and he's going to try the outside run. Oh, we're watching the racetrack. Well, dear me, here we go with a great race. Down the back straight, wheel to wheel. This is proper speedway, Kelv.
Freddie Lindgren coming charging back into the picture. Thank God for that. And he's hit the front. Anders Thompson made him work very hard though. Fair play. Leon Madsen now coming on strong in 3rd place, and Zago's had a good night so far. He's out of the points. But Freddie Lindgren, all credit to him. That was a terrific effort to get back in front of Anders Thompson into the last lap here. Leon Madsen really working hard, trying to find a way past Anders Thompson. Going to get tied down the back straight, I think.
Yeah, it is, and as I say, good lap and a half there between Thompson and Lindgren. Very impressive speedway, and Freddie Lindgren looks over his shoulder. He will be delighted with that. Thompson goes wide to block the challenge of his fellow countryman Leon Madsen in heat number 10. We are halfway through the qualifying races to establish the top 8 for a place in the semi-finals. Very tight again.
Yeah, got very tight there. I think we missed a vital moment, unfortunately, but it was really close between Anders Thompson and Freddie Lindgren.
Freddie Lindgren the winner, Anders Thompson second, Leon Madsen was third, and Freddie Lindgren is now on 5 points from 3 rides. That's more like it for him. Thompson is on 6, 3 third places. That's pretty impressive stuff from the Dane, Anders Thompson, and it was a nice ride. He got some speed early on and kicked on and passed Freddie Lindgren, but Lindgren returned the compliment. And he's riding well, he's riding hard, Lindgren, and digging deep tonight, and he's got some points on the board now.
Well, that's what we see all the time from Freddie Lindgren, isn't he? He shows great commitment to the cause. He's rock solid, even when he has a poor ride, and there we see that move early on from Anders Thompson. And you would have thought, actually, when we've seen riders do this early on, they generally stay in front. So it's a great effort from Lindgren to come back into this and get the better of the Dane. Freddie round the outside, they're in the dirt, charging hard and swoops back to the front. Good ride from Freddie, nice ride from him. Leon Madsen pushing hard in third place, but can't do it. Madsen once again starting. If you don't make starts, it's so difficult. But Freddie Lindgren there having a real ding-dong battle there with Anders Thompson. Points after a disappointing opening ride. He's in it now, Freddie, and wouldn't be at all surprised for him to keep pushing on towards the semis now.
Now Britain's Ty Woffinden, impressive last time out. He goes off gate number 3, and Alexander Lokhteyev going off the outside gate here. We should wish Martin Vasilik to injury, of course, Martin, and let's hope that we do see him in the SGP before the end of the season. But Lokhteyev getting the opportunity here this evening in the Togliatti Grand Prix. Heat number 11 coming up right now. This man in red, Ty Woffinden, looking to build on his 5 points so far and looks super quick in his last race.
Oh, what a start.
What a start that is from Ty Woffinden. And now Robert Lambert, his favourite fellow countryman, is really struggling to land a blow here, because coming through in yellow is Lokhteyev. And Lambert's the man in blue. He's really struggling to find any kind of form tonight. The lead is with Ty Woffinden, the 2013, 2015, 2018 champion. Lambert in danger of going to the back. The lead, though, is with Woffinden, who again, Kelv, is looking in complete control and very, very comfortable here.
Well, so much sharper away from the tapes. He dropped the clutch absolutely bang on there, and now he's hit the front. You can see the skills of Woffinden, and Woffinden looks like he means business tonight. He's on it here this evening, pulling away nicely. Lokhteyev in second place, and Berntsen in third, and Robert Lambert is having a tough evening, that's for sure. Finding points extremely difficult to come by. He's out the back, but for Ty Woffinden, this is exactly what he needed.
He's going to be on 8 points from 3 rides and almost in the semi-finals. Ty Woffinden, great job so far. Ty Woffinden gets the checkered flag, and the second place there goes to Lokhteyev, with a real battle for third spot in the end. It's been tough for Robert Lambert this tonight.
Do you know, I thought he might well do well here by getting off the start and getting amongst it, because he's a strong lad. He wouldn't worry about tricky conditions. But if he can't make starts, it's a clear example. Points are desperately hard to come by.
Yeah, Berntsen got third. Robert Lambert at the back, and Robert now, for our British fans, sadly only on 1 point from 3 rides. It's tough for Robert. But for Ty Woffinden, he goes to the top of the standings on 8 points. However, in Heat 12, we have a clash of 2 unbeaten riders, Jason Doyle and Artem Laguta, going head-to-head alongside Max Frick and Emil Sayfutdinov in a tasty Heat 12.
Yeah, absolutely. And Woffinden made a smashing start there, really was bang on, and he hits the front and pulled away nicely. And Woffinden, actually, in the last 2 outings, I would say it's the best I've seen him ride for some time. Really does look like he's engaged with the bike, and the bike's working well for him, and that's encouraging. Lokhteyev in second place, he rides strongly. Disappointment for Lambert, who can't get off the start. You can't get off the start tonight, then you're in trouble. But for Ty Woffinden, he seems to be sort of actually enjoying the tricky conditions out there and showing his skills. He's a wonderful speedway rider, has a fabulous throttle control. And Ty's really engaged with it. You can see how his body language is on the bike, and that's encouraging.
Yeah, he's up for it tonight, that's for sure, as we build up to
I like it.
Fantastic heat number 12 here, with Jason Doyle going off the inside in the red helmet killer, unbeaten so far. Max Frick, gate 2 in blue, 5 out of 6. Artem Laguta, unbeaten so far. Emil Sayfutdinov on 3 points and needing points to progress in his home Grand Prix. I'm not saying his local one, his home Grand Prix.
The local boy, one of their own.
Yeah, give it a rest.
One of their own, from just round the corner.
3,000 miles away.
St. Petersburg, I think, is his birthplace. I don't think it's local, although I don't know the Russian landscape that well. But Artem Laguta, again here, once again, gate 3 hasn't proved to be a good one, but he could prove me completely wrong. But this is a really tasty lineup. Doyle, can he produce another race win from the inside? He will be threatening. He'll know he'll be charging hard.
Yep, can he get there here? What a start from Laguta.
Wow.
Artem Laguta making it look all very easy. Fricks up the inside here in blue, and wouldn't you know it, Doyle's gone to the back with a lovely move from Emil Sayfutdinov. That is sensational from Sayfutdinov through to second spot. But look at Artem Laguta. He is kicking on and riding quite beautifully here, on his way surely to 9 points out of 9. He's not just leading the race, he's leading it comfortably.
He is, he's on the back wheel down the back straight, showboating to the fans. And out in front, what a start he made from gate number 3. He only needs a few more of them and he's going to pick up another win overall on the night. Fabulous performance from him. Good ride from Sayfutdinov. He really has upped his game here because he needed to after failing to score last time. And the two Aussies are out the back, and disappointment for Doyle. Into the last lap, Artem Laguta in a class of his own here, going further and further away. Brilliant stuff.
He's making it look oh so easy, Artem Laguta. Heat number 12, kicking on magnificently. And it's 9 points out of 9. And his fellow countryman runs in second, Emil Sayfutdinov. 12 races gone in Togliatti. So far, so good for that man. Artem Laguta, a maximum man on 9 points from 3 rides. A stunning solo performance from Laguta so far. 2 important points for Sayfutdinov as well, to put him on to 5 from 3 rides there after winning his opening ride and then trailing in last in his second outing. Doyle hit the fence late on, and we hope he's going to be okay. That's frustrating after opening up with 2 rides and 2 wins. A frustrating end to the race for Jason Doyle.
What a start from Artem Laguta. The man in second place in this year's championship chase is terrific. Here we're seeing late on in the race with Jason Doyle looping it coming out of the last corner, and that really was quite a dramatic moment for him. And he fails to finish the race, but good to see him up on his feet, giving it absolutely everything. But Artem Laguta in a class of his own.
Yeah, fantastic ride from Laguta. Sayfutdinov second, Frick third. It's not pretty when it comes to close racing, but Laguta brilliant. Leads on 9, from Woffington on 8, and Smarslik on 7.
Well, dramatic scenes there with Jason Doyle, who'd been enjoying a super night, and then suddenly looping coming out of the last corner, and that took him by surprise. It took us all by surprise, actually, and not something you see on a regular occurrence, I can assure you. But this is something we've been seeing on a regular occurrence. Artem Laguta making starts for fun. What a start that is. And could that sort of ability to make starts when you need them, Nigel, see him crowned world champion, or at the very least winning here in Togliatti tonight? Because look at that, he's a bike length clear. And I'll tell you what, that is so difficult to do. He sits quiet on the bike, and the bike just charges to the first turn. Lots of speed, lots of confidence. When you're making starts like that, inevitably you're going to have them. But this man is in the form of his life. Understated man, no fireworks going on there. But for him, he is really enjoying a smashing evening. We can hear now from Freddie Lindgren.
Freddie Lindgren with us on 5 points so far. It seems like after each heat you are getting better and better. What can you say about your performance so far?
Well, I didn't start well in my first heat, but got a last. I have prepared the track very, very differently. It's just ripped a lot of loose dirt on the outside, and for the moment I think it feels like it's a bit one line, but I'm happy, really happy I got the win in my last one to go on 5 and have a shot on the semi.
You decided to change your bike for your last heat. Does it mean that you're going to stick to this one in the upcoming heats as well?
Yeah, that's the plan at the moment.
Because you said that the biggest problem in your first heat was according to the track's condition. So I thought maybe the bike was working...
Not my problem. I just said that prepared the track very, very strange today. But, you know, it's the same for everyone and you just got to find the right line.
It seems like the grading break after heat number 8 was quite long. Did it change anything to the track? Is it feeling any better?
I think it still feels like it's the dirt line is very, very far out. So we'll see if they can get some dirt a little bit more inside and maybe the line change. But we'll have to wait and see.
So far in the series, you've been showing a lot of consistency. Are you satisfying with the result, considering that you've been struggling a little bit this season, for example, in the league racing? So it looks pretty good.
Yeah, no, I'm proud of my performance so far this year in the Grand Prix series, and no, I just wish I can win an event soon.
Thank you so much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, you're going to have to beat...
So Janowski really has found it very difficult in the last 3-4 rounds.
Yeah, how'd you put your finger on it? You know,
I don't know what to think about it. We've seen him win back-to-back Grand Prix and lead the championship before and then go missing. I thought it was different this year. Clearly needing a lot of work and a bit of intensive care to keep this racetrack in good nick.
Yeah, so riders being pushed off then. This is Leon Madsen that we see on our screen now. Emil Sayfutdinov already up at tapes. Riders keen to get going for heat number 13 here. A bit of a track grade and a bit of watering has been the order of the day as we prepare for heat number 13 here. Krzysztof Kasperzak didn't just touch the tapes, he broke them last time out, so he's got to sit still. He's on a warning as well as a consequence of that. So heat number 13 coming, a big race for the man off the inside, Emil Sayfutdinov. Here we go. So heat number 13 it is then, with Emil Sayfutdinov going off the inside in red. Leon Madsen is off gate 2 in blue. Alexander Lokteyev on a warning off gate 3 in the white helmet. And then Krzysztof Kasperzak, he didn't just touch the tapes, he broke them last time out. So he'll be looking to sit still at the start. Bartosz Marslik already got his yellow helmet on and he's not out for a couple of races yet. So there's the enthusiasm.
Well, he's out in the next one. He's out in the next one, so yeah, he's very keen to get on with it, that's for sure.
In yellow.
And he goes from the outside. Back-to-back starts from gate 4 for the world champion. Kasperzak, well, his season is not going to plan. Bartosz's father alongside Artem Laguta there, waiting patiently. Emil Sayfutdinov needs a big race here.
Well, he's got the inside gate, so can he make it count? A clean getaway, first time of asking. Madsen's the man in blue. Sayfutdinov locks up on the inside run and blocks the challenge of Alexander Lokteyev. Now here comes Leon Madsen, high and wide into the dirt. It's not so heavy there now. We've had 12 races on this track and it's not so heavy around the outside. Emil Sayfutdinov riding a really good line on the inside, but Leon Madsen's got speed. Here he comes now, he's winding it on. He's going to push Emil every step of the way.
He is indeed, Leon Madsen. Oh, you say it wasn't so heavy. I'm not so sure Leon Madsen would agree with that, because he got himself in a bit of a pickle there. Good start from the inside from Sayfutdinov. Freshly prepared track behaving itself at this stage. Madsen pushing hard, but you can see how hard Madsen was pushing. He's still in it. Just under a lap to go, and the Danish man desperate for points, trying to find a way through up the inside now. Can he get there? Oh, he's coming nice.
Sayfutdinov spotted him and went wide and knew that if he turned the bike he'd be in trouble. Down to the line they go, and Leon Madsen wins the race.
I think it's the first overtake we've had all night.
The first pass of the night for the victory for Leon Madsen, and Sayfutdinov saw it coming. He looked across his left shoulder and he knew that if he turned the bike sharp there, then both riders could have possibly been in trouble.
Great ride from Madsen, had speed, really gave it everything and caught Emil Sayfutdinov by surprise. Super ride from the Danish boy.
And Kasperzak finished third with Lokteyev at the back on that occasion. It means then that Laguta leading the way on 9 still, and 7 points. Leon Madsen with an impressive victory there. He always looked like he got the speed, And he got the pass in the end as well. Impressive stuff.
Yeah, it was a ride of real tenacity, wasn't it? He wasn't giving up at all. Emil Sayfutdinov away sharpish. He'll be furious, Emil, here, because this is a race he should have won. And Leon Madsen, although he had speed, in reality, I think Emil just finds himself in no man's land here. He doesn't quite commit to the inside or the outside because he's just finding himself under so much pressure. But fair play to Leon Madsen. He gets a nice run up the inside, slips through into the lead. And as hard as Emil tries to respond, he can't. And just stealing it away on the latter part of the race. And for Leon, that's good news, you know, with the race to go. And not sure it was the sponsor that got him there. I think it was your determination that got you there. But a race to go on 7, he's got a good chance.
Yes, never want to miss out on a marketing opportunity, Leon Madsen. Fair play to him for that.
Yes.
Heat number 14 is coming up here. Anders Thompson has been in the thick of the action tonight. And this is quite a lineup, with Jason Doyle going off gate number 2 in blue. Had that little tumble last time out, but a couple of race wins under his belt. The very impressive Ty Woffenden going off gate 3
Green
in white. Yes, gate 3 in white. Let's just clarify that. Bartosz Zmarzlik is going off the outside in yellow. Bartosz Zmarzlik in his blue race.
That green helmet colour is probably gate 8 or something, isn't it? So
I was just speaking too quick. I mixed up.
That's right. Okay, got carried away.
Yeah.
But this is an interesting matchup now because Woffenden's riding really well. Zmarzlik is as well. And you've got to say that Woffenden will be very keen to try and get himself in front here. This could be quite a tussle on the outside. The championship leader, can he do it again?
It'll be tense at the start. You can be sure of that. Woffenden's made a tidy start from gate number 3. Now he's going to go wide. Zmarzlik is going to have to try the switch up the inside if he can. Woffenden has the lead. Now Zmarzlik around the outside of Thompson. And now he's going to chase hard after Ty Woffenden, who's gone high and wide into the dirt. Woffenden leads from Bartosz Zmarzlik in 2nd spot. Thompson's 3rd. Doyle in turn is going to try and take up the challenge for 3rd spot. But Ty Woffenden looking superb as Zmarzlik gets some grip and goes up on one wheel and loses a bit of ground as well.
Yeah, Zmarzlik untidy in 2nd place, trying too hard, and you've got to say that Woffenden is on it tonight. Brilliant start from him. Oh! Spoke too soon.
Dear me.
Got himself into trouble there, but he hangs on. Got to say, you can just see how tricky this place is. It really is tough. You cannot relax for a second. Into the last lap after a smashing start. The old engine that was holding the garage door open is doing the business once again.
Never throw anything away, folks. You never know when you might need it. Particularly a Speedway engine from last year. Ty Woffenden takes the victory. 3 points under his belt. Moves him on to 11. He can start looking forward to the semi-finals. Well done to him. And a convincing victory over Bartosz Zmarzlik in the yellow helmet colour there. Superb ride from Ty Woffenden, in great form, and 2 world champions there. 5 world titles between them, possibly 6 if Zmarzlik wins it this time around, and he's looking good to doing that.
Doyle.
But Jason Doyle, 2 wins and 2 zeros for Jason Doyle. It's turned horribly wrong for Doyley. And that is very, very unfortunate. But for this man,
looking
a model
good
of consistency tonight. 3 straight wins now, Kelv.
Yeah, looking really good. And not only is he fast, he's making starts, which has been his nemesis throughout the season. And look at that, he's sharp as well. That's also important. He's really sharp on the start line. He's dropping the clutch. There's real intent in his body language. It's almost like he's relishing these difficult conditions and making light of them. It's a sort of challenge that Ty quite often enjoys, and so it's proving here this evening. Zmarzlik tried really, really hard in 2nd place, and actually, to his detriment, he loses time to Woffenden, who wins comfortably in the end. 2 class contenders there out in front, dominating the World Championships in recent times. Doyle missing out, that's a disappointment. But for Woffenden, good to see him back in the big points.
Did you ever go through a patchy spell and you thought, you know what, I'll just roll out that old engine and see if it does it for me?
Yeah, I think a lot of riders have done that in the past, where you buy new engines because you perceive that everything's moving forward and they don't quite work out, and then you go back to something that you've literally given up on, bolt it in, you think, actually, this is quite handy, this is quite useful.
Tarasenko going off the inside, then Berntsen off too. Laguta, the man of the moment, the only unbeaten rider in the GP so far. He's off gate 3 and Fredrik Lindgren, Fast Freddy, going off the outside in the yellow helmet colour. This is heat number 15, taking shape nicely now. We're into the latter stages of the qualifying races, 20 qualifying heats, 5 rides each, and then we're into the semi-finals of the Togliatti FIM Speedway Grand Prix. Lindgren's rode nicely tonight. He's had to dig deep at times, because he started with a 0, but has rode nicely, Freddie Lindgren, and remains to be seen how he can do from the outside run here. Gate number 4, heat number 15. What about Laguta in white? Can anybody stop him? He's made a textbook start once again there. Laguta, now he's going around the outside and Lindgren comes through! And would you believe it, Artem Laguta has been relegated to the back, and now Freddie Lindgren with a real clever switch, spotted the opportunity, the gap was there, and he came through, and Laguta now charging hard around the outside run. Can he land a blow? Charging around, coming through for third, working really hard here, and now trying to pounce on Oliver Bernson for second as well.
Yeah, that's a real shock. Certainly, Artem Laguta having to work very hard indeed, and he's finally got himself... We missed it, I'll tell you what, that was awful. Awful that we missed that move, but Artem Laguta has ridden really nicely there to get through into second place. Fantastic first corner from Freddie Lindgren. I mean, that was absolutely textbook stuff from him. And you've got to say that the Swede once again is showing great class and speed out on track again. Artem Laguta fighting for his life there. A solid second place from him.
Yep, absolutely. And Freddie Lindgren looking superb. That's a real impressive display from him. He made a good start because Laguta looked to have got it from gate number 3. But then Lindgren spotted the gap and pounced.
Yeah.
And he made the right move at the right time. And he got the lead, and he's gone on to take the checkered flag. Very, very impressive work from Freddie Lindgren, and that really does transform his evening because it puts him on to 8 points now. Laguta, with a couple of points under his belt now, moves on to 11, level with Woffinen at the top of the leaderboard. Smarslik 9, Lindgren 8. 3 riders on 7 points.
And, good stuff from Lindgren, isn't it?
Very impressive.
Yeah,
very impressive.
Great way to bounce back. Poor start. Quite clearly nowhere near it on the opening ride, but suddenly he turns his fortunes around with 2 super rides, and this one in particular is spectacular in the extreme in the first corner. Good start there from the inside from Tarasenko. That forces Laguta wide, and Laguta is then vulnerable and finds himself relegated to the back again from the tapes. Lindgren all over the place. He snakes violently going to the first corner, but he makes a great move and things just open up nicely for him. And the rider that's been looking almost unbeatable tonight, Artem Laguta, is then stuck in traffic, but he does remarkably well to come through into second place to salvage 2 big points out of the race. But this man, after a disappointing start to the night, is looking really good. And once again, Freddie Lindgren is the real deal, fighting hard. Said he was proud of his performances in the Grand Prix this year. 8 points from 4 outings. He's looking good now.
Well, it does beg the question, what can we expect from the semis and the final? Because we've just seen Laguta beaten, we've just seen Smarslik beaten.
Well, it is a leveller, and you said it very early on, this track is a leveller. You don't get a break in the first corner or make a good start, your night's going to really be difficult.
So here we go with heat number 16, Robert Lambert off the inside, won't make the semis tonight, probably. He's only got a point to his name, and this is his 4th ride. Janowski off gate number 2 in blue. It's a mystery to see how he has faded away in the World Championship magic. It's Max Frick going off gate number 3 in white, and Mate Zegar, the Slovenian, going off the outside gate in yellow. Here we go then, heat number 16. It's a tidy start from Robert Lambert in red. Can he hold the line? Can he get a victory under his belt? The young British rider is being chased hard by Max Frick, another younger rider, a younger generation of Grand Prix rider. Matt Janowski is working hard. Oh dear, oh dear.
Lambert out of control. Just about hung on to it. Such a shame after doing all the hard yards to the first corner, is now relegated to 3rd place. And Robert once again just finding Grand Prix Speedway really difficult when he was looking so good. Frick out in front. Janowski's quick, no, Nigel. He's really fast in second place. Max Frick's going to have to really wind it on out in front. Janowski looking for a win, desperate for a win. Into the bottom corner, up the inside. Fancy he's got himself in front. Good ride from Janowski.
Yeah, you can tell the track has settled down now. It's a lot smoother and the boys are really having a go much more here. And Mats Janowski, this is what he's all about. This is a rider we know he can be. And he's going to take the checkered flag here in heat number 16. Mats Janowski from Max Frick and from Robert Lambert, who made that one mistake. I was just pleased to see him stay on the bike. Goodness me, that could have ended in tears. But Mats Janowski, we know what he's all about. And that was good to see. It was a good race with Max Frick as well.
Yeah.
That's what fans want to see. As the track has quite clearly calmed down, as we've had 16 races on this now. Janowski, Frick, Lambert, your finishing order. And overall now, 4 rides apiece. Wofford and Laguta lead on 11. Smarsik 9. Lindgren and Frick on 8 points apiece. And then 3 riders on 7 make up the top 8.
Yep, it's an encouraging ride here from Mats Janowski. Such a shame for Robert Lambert. I mean, he made such a good start here after a disappointing night. He could have salvaged something out of this, and this is where he's got to come to terms with that. When you're in these sort of positions at this level, you cannot afford to make mistakes. You just can't do it. You know, if he'd won this race, Robert Lambert, with a ride to go, you never know. You just never know. But it wasn't to be. He gets relegated back to 3rd place. And Mats Janowski, you've got to say, rides really strongly here to come through after a really difficult period in the Grand Prix campaign. And who knows, this will be a lift for him. I'd like to think so, because he wins in fine style here. And with a ride to go, then Janowski might just squeak into the semi-finals. Good enough, needs a big last ride. But 6 points, needs to win the last one from gate 4, you got to believe.
Yeah. We want to like find some things, you know, is to better, you know, to be faster. And yeah, so we have one more hit. Which one will be important to know is before the semi.
You started this round 8 in Togliatti very nice with the winning hit, and then 0 points. What was the issue of that poor start?
If you can see, you know, his track is really changed. You know, it's after a few first hits, and actually, you know, it's every hit, my hit, you know, is changed the track, and we need to just to be on the on live, you know, to see how it's changed the track, and just try to change, you know, our setup to be fast.
For you, Togliatti has a special place in heart, I believe, because you lived here back at the beginning of your career. What does it feel to be back here, to be among all of your old friends as well?
Yeah, that's awesome, you know, it's feel, because it's really, you know, it's like I think it's the same feel like Polish riders feeling, you know, in Poland. So it's the same, you know. It's really nice, but it's really bad, you know. We don't have like Russian hymn and not Russian flag, you know. That is really bad. But we need to accept, and yeah,
of course.
Keep pushing.
Keep pushing, of course. One last question about your achievements so far, because you are twice under-21 world champion. You won 3 times gold medal together with Artyom Łaguta in Speedway of Nations. What does it bring to Speedway in your country? Have you noticed that the interest in that sport grows?
I think, you know, everything can possible, you know, is to grow in this sport in Russia. But I think we need, you know, make more meeting like that, you know. So I mean, you know, it's about the Grand Prix. So I think it's possible to make in Moscow and St. Petersburg, and I think it's really growing like that, you know, and just we can see, you know, it's a lot of riders from Europe or from world, you know, to come here, and will be enjoying, you know, riding here.
Thank you so much. Good luck.
Thank you. Bye.
To stages of the meeting now, one more qualifying race each. Pressure comes on, it gently builds throughout the night, particularly if you're on the cusp of the semi-finals with a ride to come up against Janowski and Madsen in that race. So he's going to have to come up with something special. He's on 6, so he's probably going to need, well, I reckon tonight you might just creep in with 8. You might.
Look at Jason Doyle, started with 6 from 2 rides, hasn't scored since.
No.
and it's an alarming fall from a commanding position for Jason, isn't it?
Yeah, and it was a bit untidy as well in this third ride where he looped it coming out of the last corner where he's frustrated behind Frick.
Yes.
And this track can do it to you, though. You know, the difference, if you hit the front, it's easy. And you can control the race without too much trouble. But behind, trying to pass can drive you mad, I would think. And it did for Jason there. But still got a chance, but he is now up against it. It's a last chance saloon for him. Anders Thompson has been just creeping away there.
Chipping away, yeah.
But Madsen, Thompson, Doyle, Janowski, those guys, I would say, including Saifutinov as well, massive pressure on their last ride.
Yep, so we just await the riders then for heat number 17. We saw the start line being painted out with the white powder.
Yeah, it's going dark there now. They're 3 hours ahead of us here in the UK, so the evening really and truly setting in, just coming up to 9 o'clock there, so you can see people beginning to put sweatshirts and jackets on, so the temperature is just beginning to dip. Yep. And it'll be interesting to see how the track behaves in these last 7 heats. Woofenden has ridden well. I've been impressed with him under difficult conditions. This is the night where you would think, well, maybe he might not be right at it, but tonight he has been, which is really good to see. He's up against Artem Laguta here, an interesting matchup, Nige.
Yep, it's going to be a belter when we get racing. We've had 10 minutes since our previous race, so hopefully it won't be too much longer for these fans to wait for the bikes to be back out on track once again, so we can go racing.
I think Phil Morris is having an interesting evening, having to listen to one or two comments about track conditions. I think that was the manager from Laguta just having a word with him there. I sense that well, the pressure of the World Championships on the line, and when conditions aren't quite right, people are going to make their feelings known. I think that has happened this evening. Yes. But Woofenden and Laguta level pegging on 11 points here, coming up to head-to-head here in their last outing. Looking forward to it. Something's got to give, but I wouldn't be surprised, you know, if Woofenden hits the front and wins here. He really is. Once he's going, you suddenly realise how good he is. You know, we haven't seen the best of him this season. And Ty Woofenden is top class once he gets in the right frame of mind.
Yeah, Laguta very, very quick when he's in front. He's off the outside gate here, so he's going to really have to make one of his trademark starts. If Woofenden drops the clutch at just the right time, then he'll be in a good position. 11 points apiece, those two riders in this race. Kasperzak off the inside and Zagar as well. So heat number 17 coming up. We're all set and ready to go with more race action here in the Togliatti Speedway Grand Prix. Heat 17 is coming next. Christoph Kasperzak then off the inside gate in red. Only 2 points to KK tonight. Ty Woofenden 11 off 2. Zagar goes off gate number 3 in white. And Laguta 11 points like Woofenden. He goes off the outside gate in yellow. Big race.
Yeah.
Gates 2 and 4. Woofenden and Laguta, a big showdown. You expect one of these riders from here to have first pick of gate positions in the semi-final.
Well, Woofenden's in the mood, isn't he? He's riding really well, and the older engine that they've found seems to be doing the business. It's getting him to the first corner, and then you can see under these tricky conditions he's relishing it. This man, though, he can make a start for fun. Had to work hard for his 2 points last time. He found himself relegated to the back. Big showdown this, looking forward to it.
Yes, heat number 17 it is. Green light is on. And they're away, first time of asking. Woofenden's been left at the start. Now, can Laguta get around the outside? It's got to be advantage Laguta with the outside run. There you go. Now he's charging around the outside of Christoph Kasperzak. A wonderful move, and makes it look so easy as he passes the pole. Woofenden caught up in traffic at the back of the race here. Zagar is the man in third. Woofenden now trying the outside run around the outside on that old motor of his. Now he's going to try and reel in Christoph Kasperzak for second spot.
Yeah, the track Kasprzak's wet night. I tell you what, he is so dirty, it's unbelievable. And it's greasy out there, and he's having to work really, really hard just to get into third place. Artem Laguta just got himself in front at the right time. But I tell you what, for Ty Woofenden, this is a big, big ask if he can get to second place. Kasperzak's there, Laguta's got it, but Woofenden working big style round the outside, desperately trying to get into second place, but he's covered.
Yeah, it's a tough ask here. Woofenden now into the dirt, going oh so wide.
Gonna do it.
Laguta gets there, and Woofenden does. Christoph Kasperzak on the line. Magnificent effort, but Artem Laguta will lead the Grand Prix qualifiers on 14 points. And the fans in the stadium in Togliatti understandably delighted. That was a great ride from him. Woofenden made to pay for a slow start on that occasion.
Yeah, it just spun up off the start, didn't get there, and then had to work overtime to get through into second place. Laguta wins in style. Ty Woofenden, that was a great effort for 2 points.
13 in total for Ty, 14 for Artem Laguta. So they will finish top two, no doubt about that from here. Brilliant performance from both, and a real hard-fought victory for Laguta, and a real tough second spot for Woofenden.
Yeah, Woofenden had to work overtime to get through into second place, got squeezed going into the first corner, found himself at the back. Laguta just has enough to get round the outside of Kasperzak, and that was very important because it was really greasy out there and very difficult to overtake. Once again, Woofenden has to work so hard to get into second place, but to his credit, he does it. He battles hard and shows great determination to do so. But for this man, things are going his way. Dropped 1 point. His consistency is staggering, isn't it? You know, every Grand Prix he's coming up with big performances. Great stuff.
Well, Artem Laguta has now raced in 256 Grand Prix races and has actually won 87 of those, which is a pretty impressive performance from Laguta in his 45th Grand Prix. Woofenden making his 104th Grand Prix appearance tonight, by the way. And Robert Lambert goes off the inside gate. It's been a disappointing night for Robert. Anders Thompson, gate 2. Emil Sayfutdinov going off gate number 3, needs points here.
Yeah.
And Vadim Tarasenko is off the outside gate in heat number 18. Pressure on Sayfutdinov.
Indeed.
In white.
And for 2 reasons. He's just watched Artem Laguta doing the business on 14, and all of a sudden he's been left behind in the respect that Laguta is really looking good. Emil Sayfutdinov does not want to be playing second fiddle to him and will want to make sure that he makes sure of the semi-finals with a heat win here and moving on to 9 points. Thompson's the danger. Here we go.
Yes, here we go then. Heat number 18 it is then, and going into that first turn, Sayfutdinov can't quite get there. Now down the back straight they go, and coming through in blue is superb riding from Anders Thompson, the Dane. Second in the yellow helmet is Tarasenko. Sayfutdinov now trying the inside run. Can't get through. No room for Emil Sayfutdinov, and Robert Lambert trailing in at the back again, just compounding his miserable night tonight. But the lead is with the man in blue, Anders Thompson, who I think has ridden really nicely tonight, Kel.
He's done a fine job. He's been rock solid throughout the evening, and I'll tell you what, this is going to finish it off in style, and he's going to go comfortably through into the semi-finals with a win here. Got to say, for Emil Sayfutdinov, that is not going to be the case. He's going to have to hold on and hope that 8 points will see him through. It might do, but time will tell. But for Anders Thompson, this is the best Grand Prix return so far this season. Anders Thompson out in front, Tarasenko in second place.
Yes, and that's how it's going to finish. Sheet number 18, Tarasenko second, with Sayfutdinov third, and Robert Lambert will bow out of this Grand Prix with just 2 points to his name. That's disappointment for Robert. Is he just running out of steam? Didn't have the best GP challenge last weekend either, so he's going to rely on a pick for next year's SGP series. The way things are going, there's 3 rounds remaining after tonight, Voyens and 2 in Torren. And here's the result. Thompson the winner, Tarasenko second, Emil Sayfutdinov third, Robert Lambert at the back on that occasion. And it does now mean that Sayfutdinov has moved on to 8 points and does move into the top 8 for the time being. And Doyle will have pressure on him to win his next race, which is in heat number 19, coming up now. But
Good
he's
stuff
certainly
from
given himself
Thompson.
a chance there. Great ride from Anders Thompson.
Yeah, and he got away nicely, got the start he needed. And this last lot of rides, the track's been a bit greasy. You've got to say Emil tries hard, gets the better of Lambert coming out of turn 2, but got to say the wild card, Tarasenko, then presents quite a problem and can do nothing about it. And Tarasenko actually rides quite strongly for second place. But for Anders Thompson, this is a really encouraging result. He'll be pleased with this. And it's timely because in 2 weeks' time, we've got Voyens, which will be his home Grand Prix. So 10 points into the semi-finals. This really should boost his confidence.
Yeah, and well done to Jakob Olsen, son of Ollie Olsen, of course, and all the team at Voyens who have done a great work. And good to see a Grand Prix back at a proper speedway venue like that. And then, of course, we move on to Torun in the first weekend in October. And don't forget, in between all that, the Speedway of Nations qualifiers in Latvia, the semi-finals, and the final takes place in Manchester. Bellevue, 17th, 18th in Manchester. Heat 19, Oliver Bernson, Leon Madsen, Jason Doyle and Matsej Janowski.
Crunch race this. Madsen coming off of gate number 2. Doyle, who started so well, has faded away. Needs a massive result here. Janowski back to his best when he came charging through to win his last heat. So the riders in gates 2, 3 and 4 desperate for the points for the semi-final.
Big race coming up then. Heat number 19, the stakes are high and the tapes rise, and Madsen's made a beauty off gate number 2. Really good start for Leon Madsen. Doyle's gone wide and he's at the back, and here comes Matsej Janowski now in the yellow helmet colour. Leon Madsen leading the way in the blue helmet. Then it's Janowski. Jason Doyle battling through into third spot with Oliver Bernson at the back now. But this is good stuff from Madsen, but it's a good race developing as well. The track's a lot better in the latter stages of the meeting now. Gives the riders the opportunity to really give it a go from all angles.
Yeah, the racing has improved, you're right, and Janowski's looking very threatening in second place. Very good start from Madsen. Madsen's determination, I've got to say, it's admirable, isn't it? Because he's had a hard time this year, but he's riding nicely. He's going to make the semis. I think probably Janowski will as well. Doyle! Oh my goodness gracious, nearly ran the back of Janowski there with a lap to go. Leon Madsen's got it. Janowski in second place, but Jason Doyle on 1 point, 7 points, probably not going to be enough.
No. And Leon Madsen going to finish on 10 points with this victory. Had to work hard for that in the end. Madsen. And
turned his night around.
Yeah.
Turned his night around with his last 2 rides. Brilliant stuff from him. And I've got to say
10
that
points,
10 points is a good return. Got a feel for Doyle. Doyle suddenly looked like he was going to go through comfortably after winning his first 2 rides, and then gets 1 point from the next 3. That really is a disappointing return. Janowski, well, we'll see. I think he's got enough, Janowski.
Well, 8 points for Matsej Janowski. Madsen 3, Janowski 2 and Doyle 1. And after starting with 2 wins, Jason Doyle is out of the top 8. Janowski creeps in there onto 8 points. Max Frick has got 8, and he's got another race here in heat number 20. So it may well...
But Janowski, well, he's going to have a bit of a minor miracle, I think, if he's going to make the final now. You're right, Nige.
Yeah, just leaving himself too much to do. It's so frustrating. And for Jason Doyle starting with 2 wins, dear oh dear. Freddie Lindgren off the inside here, Alexander Lokteyev off 2, Bartosz Marslik, the champion of the world, off gate 3, and Max Frick going off the outside gate in yellow.
Yeah, he is indeed. And Max Frick has ridden really nicely tonight. It's a good effort from him, clearly buoyed by the result last weekend where he's qualified for next year's series. And Frick beginning to show and really fulfill some of that potential that we know he has. Bartosz Marslik, well, he's the real deal. 1 ride for him left, but it'll be interesting to see how it goes. But Frick's done nicely this evening. But Freddie Lindgren also has battled really nicely. He's done really good.
Yes, he has indeed, and he's off the inside gate here. Fredrik Lindgren, who started with a 0 and is on 8 points now. Lindgren, Lokteyev, Smarslik and Frick. Good lineup, heat 20, the final race of the qualifiers. It's a good start from Alexander Lokteyev. Now Smarslik's gone to the back. Is the room there as Lindgren comes through? Smarslik in wide. Lindgren's gone to the back. Can you believe it? Loktaev in second spot now. Lindgren charging hard into third again. Lindgren really in the mix, having a proper go here. Tries to come around the outside now. Frick knows that he probably still needs a point here if possible, as Lindgren charges up the inside of Loktaev, then gets off the gas, spots that there's no room to try the inside run there.
Well, all of a sudden, Janowski might have a lifeline here. If Frick can't get through, it will go to countback. Great move from the world champion, wasn't it, in that first corner? Who just absolutely steamed to the front once again, looking superb. Freddie Lindgren back in third place, and all of a sudden, Loktaev there hanging on in second place. Can Lindgren, with a lap to go, can he do anything about it? But it's so difficult. Frick now coming up the inside, but doesn't look like he's going to get a point, and that could be very costly indeed. But Smarslik, a comfortable winner here.
Yes, it's a good ride from Bartosz Smarslik. Loktaev in second, so that means that he finishes on 6 points tonight. Third place, Freddie Lindgren, and Max Frick at the back. 8 points for Max Frick, and 9 points for fast Freddie Lindgren. That's right, yep, Freddie Lindgren on 9 points. So that should be okay for Freddie. It's Smarslik, Loktaev and Lindgren, the finishing order of heat number 20, and the semi-finals will be on the way shortly.
Yeah, lovely ride from the world champion there. We've seen that on numerous occasions this year, where he's able to swoop round that first corner and generate so much speed. Great effort from him there. Disappointment for Max Frick here, when really he just needed a point and just wasn't able to do so. Look at this move from Smarslik. So good at that. And once again, he's generating all the pace and has the balance and composure to be able to do the business. He comes flying into the picture. Freddie Lindgren there also went and truly amongst it. It was tight on the opening lap there, but for that man, he just pulled further away, and you can't rule him out. Could he make it 5 Grand Prix wins this season? You wouldn't put it past him, would you? He is more than capable, and looking for another big result. And when Artem Leguta's keeping him right up to his game, he's still pushing on. It's a real head-to-head between those two right now.
Yes, ridden beautifully. Woffenden, Leguta and Smarslik, head and shoulders the best riders tonight. Lindgren did well with 9 from 4 rides after starting with a 0. And the opposite effect goes with Jason Doyle, who started with 2 wins and then tailed off.
Yeah, that's desperately disappointing. I've got to believe that that race where he looped it must have just knocked the wind out of his sails and the momentum with it, because he was looking like he was going to be, you know, in some ways he's got everything to do again.
Fans enjoying themselves in Togliatti in the latter stages now as nighttime falls, and Frick has got the better of Janowski. Starts with race wins, then seconds, thirds, then it goes head-to-head.
All by the skin of his teeth.
So absolutely by a whisker, Max Frick has got into the semi-finals. Sayfutdinov on 8 as well, has only just scraped in. But it's a good lineup for the semis. Riders will begin their picks of gate positions very shortly. Artem Leguta is the man who will have the honours. First up, Janowski gets 8 GP points, Doyle 7, Zagar 5, Berntsen 3, and Kasperzak again still. Christoph Kasperzak only adds 2 points. Robert Lambert 1. Yeah,
well, that's a desperate night for Robert Lambert, a night to forget for him. He had an opportunity to win a race a little later on, but just slipped away from him.
Such a long way to go as well.
Well, that's what I'm saying, and again, a rider like Jason Doyle, you know, that he's allowed this meeting to slip away because he was looking.
8 picks for semi-final 1 now. Who's going for what gate? Artem Leguta first of all, then where do you reckon?
Gate 2 maybe.
Oh.
Gate 1. Yeah.
Yeah, not a bad call, that. Not bad.
Often goes for gate 2.
Leon?
Gate 2 for Leon. He's won his last 2 rides from Gate 2, so he'll be pleased with that. Not sure that needs to go down, yeah.
Yes,
so
that's right.
Now we've got gates 3 and 4 left.
Any time today, guys.
No rush tonight, is there? No rush at all.
Come on, Freddie.
Freddie's just having a think.
4, I reckon.
Yeah, you might be right, actually. You might well be right. He might look to make a bit of a swoop. He's tempted by 3. He's tempted.
You never know with half these riders these days. They spend so much time appearing to make a decision on where to go, but they know they're in vision. They know the camera's on them, and therefore the longer they take to pick a gate, the longer the amount of time their sponsors are exposed on TV. Is that a relevant point, Calv?
I think it is a relevant point, but I'm not sure it's upmost in their minds.
Oh, it's just a cynical thought I have.
I think it is a cynical, not sure.
Oh, yes, of course.
And took his time.
But his sponsors enjoyed plenty of TV time.
As an added bonus. Ty Woofenden. Here we go. Has he got his sponsors in there? Gate 1 for Ty. Woofy off gate number 1. Gate number 3. No hesitation from the world champion. By golly.
Yeah, he's not bothered about his sponsors, is he?
He's not. Well,
he wants to get on with the racing.
He just wants to win. And Anders Thompson goes out of gate 2. He'll be pleased with that.
Max Frick.
Frick off the outside. Okay, well,
very good.
A couple of riders there in the semi-finals that we aren't used to seeing in Frick and Thompson, but
fair play to them.
Well, Bartosz Marslik, he's very decisive, isn't he? He came up there and bang, gate number 3 for me.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it was a good atmosphere with a booming sound system. And reminder, of course, this is more traditionally an ice racing circuit. The shape of the ice racing track is actually on the inside of the speedway track at this venue. And
tough semi-final this, not easy.
It's a good one.
Not easy to call. Emil Sayfutinov will be desperate to make the final here. Won the Speedway of Nations with Artem Laguta here 2 years ago and has a proud record. He's a proud Russian and he'll be wanting to make the final. Both of them will, of course, and the crowd will be delighted to see 2 of their riders make the final. Just got in, but that doesn't matter now. Once you're in,
wipe the slate clean.
Wipe the slate clean. You know, Laguta qualified comfortably on 14. Sayfutinov qualifies by the skin of his teeth on 8, but he could still go away with 20 World Championship points. That's the nature of the beast right now. Yep,
that's the key factor for sure. First semi-final it is then. Laguta, Madsen, Sayfutinov and Lindgren. It is a tasty, tasty lineup. Let's see which way this one goes. Can anybody stop Laguta off the inside run? He had first choice of gate position. We'll find out in just a few moments' time. Semi-final number 1 then. Here we go. Artem Laguta going off the inside gate in red. Leon Madsen off gate 2 in the blue helmet colour. Emil Sayfutinov going off gate 3. Freddie Lindgren off the outside. A reminder, doesn't matter what points they've scored before this stage of the meeting, you wipe the slate clean, you get points according to where you finish in the semis and the final. Yeah, absolutely right. So you've got to keep pushing on. Sayfutinov came in with 8. That man there, Laguta, came in with 14. So he needs to finish 4th in the final to actually get the same amount of points on the evening. So still work to be done for all of these riders. The world champion keenly looking on. Madsen's gone well his last couple of outings, so don't rule him out. But the Russians will be very keen here to try and see their men through to the final. Big semi-final here. Yeah, Madsen's won his last 2 outings. Laguta's been brilliant. Sayfutinov by the skin of his teeth. Lindgren's worked hard. Here we go. Oh! Madsen had a nudge and has been punished for that by being left at the start. The lead here early on is with Sayfutinov. Oh, now let's see what happens here with Laguta as Lindgren tries the outside run. He's got to take on both of the home riders as he gets some drive, and that was very, very fortunate that he didn't get Sayfudinov's back wheel, but he could threaten to put Laguta out of the final here. Freddie Lindgren, the lead is Sayfudinov with Lindgren second, and Laguta is third right now. Long way to go in this one though, still plenty of racing ahead here, Calv.
Yeah, Leon Madsen out of good shape at the back. Artem Laguta under massive pressure. Freddie Lindgren runs wide. Laguta loud turns up the inside. A bit of good fortune for Laguta there because he got out-battled earlier on. Emil Sayfutinov coming into the semi-final, just into the semi-final on 8 points. His head the front is going to make the final. Laguta now looking like he's just about got it covered with Madsen coming through now.
Well, Freddie Lindgren just hit the wrong part of the track at the wrong time, left too much room for Artem Laguta to come through, and it's Sayfudinov and Laguta. The Togliatti fans go wild. Both their boys have made the final on home shale.
Yes, they have indeed. Fabulous moment for the Russian boys. Got to say, Emil Sayfutinov made an absolutely textbook start there. Flew into the first corner and really had a clean pair of heels to the opposition. Artem Laguta once again had to work very hard to get the better of Freddie Lindgren, but he made it. The Russians are through.
Yep, Sayfudinov and Laguta are our first two finalists. Lindgren finished third and Madsen at the back. Lindgren just went so wide there, he just left far too much room for Artem to come through. It was a mistake.
It was a mistake, and that's unfortunate for Freddie, who's ridden well. But Emil Sayfutinov suddenly finds the key to getting away. Made a great start from gate number 3. And I guess who's got gate 3 in the next race? The world champion, Smartslick. Didn't hesitate to take it. He must have known something. But for Emil, that was a nice ride from him out in front. The best ride, I think, of the night for him. But there's no question that Artem Laguta has found something this year. Leon Madsen nervous on the start, very nearly touched the tape.
Very lucky.
Very lucky indeed, but in truth, his final chances were blown right there. But for Freddie Lindgren, this was unlike him, very unlike him. When he's in that position, you wouldn't have expected him to have made a mistake. But for Emil Sayfutinov, he's delighted to be through.
Wow, yes.
Great ride from him, and Artem Laguta just about gets there.
And Emil knows that he only got through by the skin of his teeth on 8 points, but now the minimum he can score is 14 by finishing last in the final. So he could go on and end up with 20 points by winning it.
Yeah, so he's 3 points better off already, isn't he, as a consequence? So, but he could end up on 20 points, that's for sure.
Now, what a semi-final two we've got for you, folks. Ty Wofferden going off the inside gate. And going off gate 2 in blue is Anders Thompson, Bartosz Smarslik gate 3, Max Frick off the outside. Our UK viewers, by the way, I do hope you didn't tune in at the normal time of 6 p.m. and think that, hang on a minute, what the heck happened to the Speedway tonight? We did start racing at 4 p.m. UK time, but if you have just joined us, well, you've joined us at the best part of the meeting, so it's not all that bad.
Yeah, it's livened up recently, so stay tuned. But there's no question that the track has improved immensely. But on the inside, Wofferden is having a really good night. It's another head-to-head between the two world champions, Wofferden and Smarslik.
Yep, good race coming up right here. It's a good start from Wofferden off the inside gate. Sayfutinov, Smarslik is there going wide. That allows Max Frick to come through the inside. Wofferden now is watching every move of Max Frick, who tries the inside run. No room for Smarslik, but Smarslik is going to try the inside. Wofferden's gone too wide. Wofferden has gone too wide, and Smarslik has come through like he does.
Wow!
That is what Bartosz Smarslik is all about. Smarslik leads on. Wofferden almost in trouble there as Thompson on second spot. Can you believe it?
Wow, what a move from Anders Thompson. All sorts of fireworks going on there, and the Danish man just picked up all the pieces with Wofferden all of a sudden relegated to the back. And he's gone down. He's gone down. Oh, it was all out of control there. The red lights will have to come on. What an opening lap of Speedway that was. Oh, is he up? Oh my goodness!
All over the place.
Oh, he just about stayed on Anders Thompson now. He's having the Grand Prix of his life, Anders Thompson.
Well, he's never reached a Grand Prix final, Anders Thompson. He's new to the series, of course. But Bartosz Smarslik takes the checkered flag right now.
Wow.
And Anders Thompson, in his 11th Grand Prix of his career, makes the grand final. And well done to Ty Wofferden for clearing the track like he did to enable that semi-final to continue.
I agree with that. I thought for sure the red lights were going to come on there, but It didn't do, but Bartosz Marslik, wow, once again, an eye-catching ride from him.
These semis are scary.
Anders Thompson, wow, he did remarkably well to come through. Makes the final for the first time.
Well done to him. Scary semi-finals. Hopefully, we'll get a fantastic final.
Well, that man had a moment there. Shame for Woofenden, that really was, because he was riding well, and I thought he was nailed on for the final tonight. Had the pick, of course, for the inside gate first pick, but it wasn't to be. But it was such an action-packed opening lap. I mean, you didn't really know where to look, did you? It really was all going on. Let's see it again. Woofenden makes it. Smarslik goes miles too wide. He's at the back here. Frick comes up the inside of Woofenden. It's tight going into the bottom corner. Woofenden goes very, very wide indeed. That opens the door for Smarslik to come through. It all gets so tight here. This is very early on with Frick up the inside. Woofenden then running wide. Smarslik reading it well to come up the inside of both of them. And then it gets difficult for Woofenden. He runs out of racing room. Has to shut the throttle off. And as a consequence, Smarslik and Anders Thompson take their opportunity with both hands. Frick back in third place, he'll be frustrated. But for Woofenden, who did well, actually, after falling, to get up off the track, and the race goes through to its conclusion. But Smarslik and Laguta having a moment in their respective semi-finals, but they both make it.
Well, Woofenden, he's the big loser there by finishing last in that particular semi-final, because he scored 13 points qualifying. He's ended up only scoring 9.
That's tough.
So that means he's dropped 4 points on where he was after five races. So that really is tough. Madsen 10, Frick 11, and Lindgren finishes on 12 points tonight.
Riders will be gathering. Interesting to see which way it goes now.
Now this will be interesting. Bartosz, 1 or 4? Oh, 3. Right, there you go. Well, that worked nicely for him in the previous race, didn't it?
Yeah.
Gate 3 was on in the second semi-final.
Emil Sayfutdinov off the inside. Laguta gate 2. Yep. Laguta gate 2. And Anders Thompson, well, gate 4, but everything now for him is just a Brucey bonus. You've got to believe that. He's had a great night, and with, you know, Voyens just 2 weeks ago, this is a great boost for that meeting, let alone the rider, isn't it? You know, with a Danish rider making the final, you would have expected it to be Leon Madsen. But for Anders Thompson in his first full season as a Grand Prix rider, congratulations to him to making his first final. That's a great effort.
Yeah, our international audience on the World Feed commentary, some of them may well be thinking, what is a Brucey bonus? Well, that is an expression from an old TV programme in the UK at this time of the day on a Saturday, where it was Bruce Forsyth and Play Your Cards Right. Am I correct, Calv?
You are absolutely correct.
Higher or lower?
Higher or lower, and if you actually got it right, you got a bonus, and it was a Brucey bonus. And
yes.
I think that it's quite right to say Brucey bonus when Anders Thompson will be chuffed to bits to be in the big time.
Well,
and he's had a hard time. He's had some hard times this year,
has.
And then on difficult circumstances here in Togliatti tonight,
he's done well.
He's done very well.
Yeah. 8 points was for the semi-final. Higher or lower? Higher you go through, lower you go out. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, Anders Thompson has gone through because he's gone higher. He's made the final. He's played his cards right.
He has. So it's it's been great fun, hasn't it?
Nice to see you. To see you. Nice.
Yes. Saturday afternoons.
Yes.
Never been quite the same.
Fantastic.
But
but good stuff. The track's come to the riders. The riders have clearly...
Wouldn't be surprised to see a Russian winner now.
Yeah.
Emil Sayfutdinov made a great start.
He did.
Laguta's been stealing all the headlines in recent weeks from Emil, so this is an opportunity to just remind everybody that he's not out of it. Came into the championship chase in 4th place. He'll be looking to pick up the 20 points, which will push him on to 121 World Championship points.
Well, a reminder, 121 Smarslik, 118 Laguta.
111, sorry.
So, yeah, it's
He's on 91, so I got that wrong.
Emil's on 91, yeah.
30 points for a win. So.
Smarslik's on 121, Leguta's on 118.
Yeah.
And Emil is on 91. Now the scoring for the final, 20 for the win, 18 for second, 16 for third, and 14 for fourth spot. So the stakes are high.
They are high, and particularly for Leguta and Smarslik, they're battling for the World Championship right now.
A win for Leguta and second for Smarslik means there's 1 point in the title race.
Yeah, it keeps it really tight, and it's going to go, could well go the distance between those two. No cracks in the armour from either of them, and when Leguta's been in a little bit of trouble tonight, he's been able to rectify it by battling through. It was something I didn't often see from him previously. Once he was in third place, he tended to stay there, but there's something about Artem Leguta. His resolve this year is more than it's been before, and he's been able to get himself into big point scoring positions, whether he's done it from the start or whether he's been doing it coming through the traffic. But no, great to see two of the home representatives in the final, but the danger man for both of them is the world champion.
The grand final of the Togliatti FIM Speedway Grand Prix, and what a lineup. Emil Sayfutdinov fourth in the world standings before tonight off the inside gate. Artem Leguta 3 points behind Smarslik, the man alongside him on the grid in the title race. And Anders Thomsen in his first ever SGP final, a big moment for him as well.
Yeah.
This is a hugely important race in the title race. Leguta and Smarslik head to head on the grid. Sayfutdinov hoping to just keep his slim hopes very much alive, and then of course we have Voyens in 2 weeks, and then we have the back-to-back in Torun the first weekend in October. So we really are getting down to the crunch.
We are indeed, and you've got to say that Leguta and Smarslik have been fabulous this season, and this man going for his third consecutive Grand Prix World Championship, well, it's not proving to be easy for him. He's been winning lots of Grand Prix, but Leguta has certainly kept him up to the task, that's for sure. Massive race, the two Russian boys on the inside. Smarslik going out of gate number 3, as he did in the semi-final. Here we go.
Grand final in Togliatti. Green light on and they're away. And who's going to get into that first turn first? Leguta. Oh, I thought he was going to nudge Bartosz Smarslik wide there, and coming through is Thomsen in yellow. Anders Thomsen of Denmark. Here comes Smarslik. Smarslik in white. The lead is with Leguta. Bartosz Smarslik hunting him down. Sayfutdinov for the back. Smarslik and Leguta wheel to wheel here. But Leguta with the outside run has got the speed and he's riding beautifully. If it stays like this, there'll be a 1 point gap in the race for the title. Going into round 9 in Voyens, and Thomsen comes through into second.
Oh, fabulous for Thomsen. Smarslik now having to get back into second place, able to replay the compliment, but what a start from Leguta. Once again producing the goods when it really mattered. Artem Leguta having the season of his life. Smarslik trying to hunt him down with just under a lap to go. Sayfutdinov is going to miss out, he's not going to make the rostrum, but Artem Leguta will win the Grand Prix again.
A fantastic result on home shale for Artem Leguta. Bartosz Smarslik 139, Artem Leguta 138. That's your title race going into round 9 in 2 weeks' time.
The home crowd on their feet, Nigel, absolutely delighted to have a home winner. Artem Leguta, he's the real deal this year. Bartosz Smarslik in second place, but Artem Leguta will just not go away. What a ride, what a night. Scored 14 points out of the first 5 rides. Had to work awfully hard in the semi-final, but he produced a textbook start in the final. Comes through in flying colours.
Look at that smile under that crash helmet.
This is going to be a tense battle. 3 rounds to go. Can't wait for Voyens in 2 weeks.
Brilliant. The Voyens Speedway Centre in Denmark. 139 plays 138.
Wow. Doesn't get any tighter than that, Nigel. And these two riders are setting such a high bar this year. Artem Leguta, a fabulous, fabulous win for him at home.
Leguta the winner, Bartosz Smarslik second, Anders Thomsen third. Rode brilliantly tonight and finished on 16 points. Emil Sayfutdinov on 14 points for his efforts, reaching the final tonight. but two fantastic riders going head-to-head for the world title. Are we going down to round 11 in Torun?
Oh, I do hope so. It will be so tense, wouldn't it, in Voyens? Here we see it in Torun, rather. It's going to be tense in Voyens as well.
It will be, yeah.
Tough first corner. Look at Anders Thompson. Look at Anders Thompson. He's right in the thick of the action. And it doesn't end there, does it? Because he actually passes Bartosz Smarslik again. And actually, as a consequence of that, Smarslik then really can't just focus on trying to pass Artem Laguta, because Anders Thompson really does make him work awfully hard just for second place. Artem Laguta clearly delighted to have won again. It's his third win of the year. He's doing the business.
We miss the best bits on those replays.
We do indeed, but we can try and wax lyrical about them. But these two riders are setting a pace that is just unprecedented. They are going at it every single time in the Grand Prix. The home fans clearly absolutely delighted. Well, the home fans just expect that their man is going